It's your favorite Dr. Honey, Dr. Faith Abraham, and welcome to the broadcast. Listen, I'm so happy to be with you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. You know how I'm trying to do it. I don't want to be taking up too much of our time. So, how I learned how to stop self-sabotaging. And if you know anybody that self-sabotages, please share this with them so they can stop doing that. Because I can tell you right now, there have been many three minis things and opportunities and blessings and just things that should have happened in my life either earlier or should have happened in my life, but it was prolonged, should have transpired, and 100% did not, because I self-sabotaged. And it wasn't like I was doing it intentionally. You never, and if you're a self-sabotager, you know, like, you don't do it intentionally. You don't do it to say, yes, I'm gonna self-sabotage today. No, you don't operate that way. What happens is you are literally seeing opportunities, seeing things happen, getting ideas, wanting to do something different with yourself, with your life, just move ahead and forward in life. But what happens is you start having these different thoughts, you start doubting, fear likes to creep on in, and so within that you are having these ideas and feeling like, oh, I want to do this today. Oh, I want to do that today. So let me just take one idea and then elaborate off of that, and then you can apply it to anything else. So let's say I say, okay, I have this idea for a book. And I always have ideas for books, if I'm honest. But I have an idea for a book. And so I take my phone and I start talking. And I'm like, this, that. And then, you know, I put it down. I come back to it the next day, the day after that. Next thing I know, I have this long note in my phone, right? Sometimes I will use voice memo. And voice memo, I'll just be talking about the topic of the book that I want to write. These are like two of the things that I share. It's on my YouTube channel, on my playlist, self-publish, how the quickest way to write a book. But this is before I learned how to stop self-sabotaging. So I have all this content, and so then I take the recordings, upload it to rev.com. Rev.com would transcribe it into text, and then I could literally just throw it together into this Word document, and boom, I have the beginning and the outline of a book. Now here's where the self-sabotage comes in. And it depends on the person, because it can come early in the stage or later or at the end or in the middle. But for me, it always likes to creep in, and it likes to come in when I'm making strides and I'm doing something, and then these thoughts come in like, well, what if people don't like it? What if you're doing this for no reason? Couldn't you be doing something else with your time? Why are you not being productive? This may not. So it's these thoughts, and they're little thoughts. They're not like, why aren't you, they're very subtle. They're very quiet, but they shoot through your mind. They shoot through, just your being. You don't ask for it. It just comes. And so you're writing the book, and then I can get to a point where, okay, I send the book out, I get someone else to do it for me, and all I need to do is finish it up. And I can't. I get writer's block. I can't focus. I am not liking what I'm writing. I am getting occupied with everything under the sun other than this book. The sabotage is literally me not finishing or completing what it is I set out to do. The sabotage is the thoughts that run across my mind that I don't address when the thoughts come up. The sabotage is allowing all the all the other things, very valid. However, I'm allowing those things to take the place and take top priority, which allows me to keep putting the book on the back burner. This is literally the process. And y'all, I've been doing self-publishing for a long time, not just of my books, but other people's books. I've been a ghostwriter for many years, and I know people who have had books on their shelves for 5, 10, 20 years, and they've never published the book. They've never created the website. They've never created the course. But yet, these are the same people who will sit there and be like, God, I need an idea. God, I need an invention. God, and I'm looking at them like, you have it. But I have compassion when I'm looking at them, because I know it's self-sabotaging. And so one of the first things that I always say about self-sabotage is you have to realize and be okay, be aware that you are a self-sabotager. You get in your own way. We're not even talking about the enemy at this point, because the enemy is just going to copy off of what you like. The enemy is just going to leverage your stuff against you. If when people are like, oh, it's the enemy, okay. If the enemy is doing that to you, then why aren't you paying attention to what the enemy is doing and flipping the script, doing the opposite of what the enemy is doing to you? Hello? Okay? So, first things first is just owning it and saying, you know what? I have this tendency to self-sabotage. I have this behavior that lends itself to me sabotaging my own victory, my own gain, my own elevation, my own enhancement. That's the first step, because you can't change what you won't confront. Anything that's confronting you in your life, if you don't want to acknowledge it, if you're not willing to confront it, you can't change it. You can't be like ducking and dodging and like, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. It happens to everybody. Da, 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 da. No. No. You have to confront what's confronting you. And when you start to confront what's confronting you, you start to get ideas. You start to be put in position to now shift and move from that narrative. So once you realize, okay, I have a tendency to self-sabotage. This is just what I do. Because what? This is the key. Why are you self-sabotaging? Are you afraid? Are you looking to avoid pain? Are you looking to avoid shame? Are you looking to avoid having to promote yourself? Y'all not talking to me today. I see y'all here, but y'all not talking to me today. Come on. Because I know this thing from like the back of my hand, because I was the one. I used to do it all the time. All the time. Okay? All the time. Okay? My son is back there. Did you like my choir singing?
Yeah.
I used to do it all the time. You got to, okay, what's happening? Why are you sabotaging? What are you avoiding? What pain is it that you are foreseeing that you are trying to stay away from? You're trying not to feel, because we human beings are very, very good at seeking out pleasure. Our brain is wired to seek out pleasure. Our brain is wired to seek out have habitual behavior, because that means we're being efficient. We don't like to step out of our comfort zone. We don't like to step out of the box. We don't like to, because that means people are going to be looking at us. People are going to be paying attention to us. People are going to be asking us questions. How did you do that? How did you do that? And you're like, I don't know. I'm just doing it. I don't know. But a lot of us too, we don't like that extra attention. We don't want anybody to know. If truth be told, if you had it your way, you would literally live in your house decorated beautifully, honey. Decorated. Z Gallery decorations. Beautiful furnishings, okay? Leather couch, plushy pillows, gold pillows, all the textures, all the beautiful smells, natural smells, honey, because we don't want them toxins of all these candles they got out of here, right? With essential oils, you get what I'm saying? Like at the perfect temperature every day. You would just relax in your home or on the porch, on the, rocking chair, just rocking every day, drinking some Georgia sweet tea, honey. my favorite, and just chill out. Nobody has to know your name. You don't have to go to the store if you don't want to. You don't have to go to work. You don't want any of that attention. You just want to enjoy your life. And then when you open your phone, or you go on your computer, or you go to the bank, there's always more than enough funds, more than enough money to take care of your lifestyle. Like, truth be told, a lot of y'all are like this. You want to live off of passive income. You don't need to, no one needs to know that you are the buku boss babe, queen. God has ordained you. You are anointed and appointed. Like, you don't need to, none of that. You don't want none of that. All you want to do is just love God, make money, enjoy your life, travel, give donations, do philanthropic work here and there, but live a quiet life. You don't want to deal with no boss, no management, them nasty co-workers that can't watch their mouth. You don't want to deal with that. You don't want to. Your life is a cozy, what we say, soft life. And I get it. I totally get it. However, in order for you to have that life in this life, you have got to stop self-sabotaging. Because when you keep self-sabotaging, when you keep, and we're talking about specifically, avoiding being uncomfortable, avoiding pain, avoiding being seen, avoiding success, avoiding the opinions of other people, you don't need anybody else to be your enemy. You become your own worst enemy. And that soft life that you like, that life of not being seen but still having plenty of money coming in, so you're taken care of and you're good, and everybody else that's connected to you is good, and if God say go and write a check, you can write a check and you ain't worried about it, good. That is going to come by you acknowledging and recognizing this is the reason why I'm self-sabotaging. I don't have writer's block for real. What I really have is fear of people rejecting me. What I really have a fear of people abandoning me if and when I become successful. What I'm really scared of and what's really going on inside of me is I'm not putting this out because I don't know if it's actually going to work. If you had a stamp and an approval and a guarantee that something was going to work, I promise you that writer's block would disappear. You would find somebody to edit that book for you. You would find somebody to publish the book. Let's go a little further. You would find somebody to help you open up that ministry. You would find somebody to help you do the 501c3. You would start the business. You would find the money. I don't care how much money you say you have, how much bad credit you had. If God said that you had a stamp of approval, whatever you do, whatever you put your hands to will turn to gold. I promise you, you would find that money. I promise you, you would borrow that money. You would not be worried about shame, guilt, fear, doubt, none of that. And that, my friends, is where the self-sabotage comes in, because you're too busy trying to protect yourself and guard yourself from, more than likely, the things that you've experienced in your past. You don't want to continue to experience it, so you keep sabotaging yourself. But the very thing that you're sabotaging yourself on is the very thing that God has given you as a gateway, as an open door, as a breakthrough, as a hello, daughter, hello, son, I am with you. I agree with you. That's a perfect plan. I dropped that plan in your spirit. Now let's take it forth. So when it comes to self-sabotage, you have to own first of all, own the fact that you do self-sabotage. Okay. Then when you own it, recognize that there's a reason why you do it. Identify the root. A lot of times we sit there, bless you, and we want to look at the fruit and we think, oh, it's the fruit. All I got to do is cut off the fruit. Baby, if you don't cut that root, then the fruit is going to come up. It's just going to come up on a different branch. But the fruit's still going to come up. So you have got to cut that root. What are you afraid of? What is so scary? I remember a client of mine, she told me that the truth of the matter was, and we had done many sessions, and she said, here's the truth. The truth is, she really didn't want to be responsible for people. And that is why, even though she wanted success and she wanted to make more money in her business, she would kind of start operating in these different ways and doing just weird stuff like, oh, I had an idea to do this and this and this and this. No. Keep that on the shelf. we're focused. Stay here, laser focused. Oh, I had an idea to do this. And then she would be mad at me because I would tell her, no, you can't do the idea. It wasn't like I didn't believe in the idea. I thought it was great, but it wasn't the time. And she didn't want to stay focused. But it wasn't that she didn't want to stay focused. It was just the fact of when we finally got down to the root of it, she didn't want to be responsible. She didn't want to start making money in her business. And now everybody starts calling her, hey, I was about to say her name. Hey, Anna, you know, can you pay this bill? Oh, my car broke down. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Can you do this? Can you do that? Oh, I pay right back. Blah, 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 blah. Which is what she's always experienced because she's the one in her family that has done really well. She's the one in her family that has their stuff together. She learns from her mistakes. She manages her money. Then when she sits there and she loans somebody something and they know that it's a loan, they looking at her funny and treating her like the oddball when they don't want to pay her back and she needs the funds. Like she was just tired of, she was like, no, I don't want to do this. And she knew that part of the reason why they would come to her is because she was the one making the most money and she was the most stable of her family. And she said, I know that if I become successful, I know if I break these barriers, that these people are going to hunt me down. They are going to make me responsible. And I just do not want that. And I said, you are trying to run away from the fact that you have to create boundaries with people, even your family. And you are sabotaging your own self and your own success in an attempt to make sure your family doesn't jump down your throat when all you really need to do is put boundaries up and maintain those boundaries. You being successful has nothing, those two are not correlated. You're making them correlated. So now you're putting a cap on yourself, but they're not correlated. Oh, she was mad at me that day. She was so mad at me that day. Oh my God. Talking about, whatever excuse that she gave so she could get off the call. I don't even remember what it was, but our time was not done. We had just gotten that thing and she did not like what I had to say. I said, you are sabotaging your own self. This has nothing to do with your family. You're putting two things together that do not mix. They do not correlate. They have nothing to do with one another. But because in your mind, you are telling yourself that you don't want to be successful because it's going to require responsibility. Success is evading you and running from you. Yet you are doing all this stuff to be successful, but success is running from you because inwardly the root is you don't want to be responsible. And I get it. It's not fair to you. You learn the lessons. You're doing the work. You're taking care of yourself. You're buying the books. You're going to the seminar so that you can get yourself together and not be like where you came from. They're not. They're looking at you as the crutch. But you can only be a crutch to them if you lend yourself to them to be a crutch. When you put up boundaries, they can only do what your boundaries allow. She didn't like that. But she did come back. I think it took a month or so, though, for her to come back. And she sent me an email. And we, had to talk through it or whatever. But she finished the program. And it was good. She did. The boundaries was a lot for her. But the point in me sharing that story with you is to let you know that there is something that you are avoiding. There is a root to the sabotage. You have to acknowledge it. You have to find it, and you have to do the opposite of that. So me personally, my thing was I would sabotage myself. I would start like projects. I'd get these ideas. I would start these projects. By the end of the project, to finish it, I couldn't finish it. I could not finish it. Like I said, even when it came to writing books, I'd get writer's block, quote unquote writer's block. I would have, oh, this kid needs this. This kid needs this. Oh, my husband needs this. Oh, I'm trapped. This, all the things. And so all the things would get in front and my project would just be sitting on the shelf collecting dust. I'm like, well, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it's not the time. No, it was just that I was sabotaging myself. And it was out of fear of it not being received. Well, how do I know it's not going to be received? I don't know. I have no clue. No idea. But in my mind, it wouldn't be received. So therefore, why do all that work in finishing it? Right? Makes it right? Does that make sense? Why do all that work and even finish it? I won't finish it. I'll just leave it there and just say that the project wasn't complete. It just wasn't God's time. And that would sit fine with me. I'd be fine with that. It'd be perfect. Until I started to realize that it wasn't perfect. And I had to do the work and say, okay, what's really going on? And it was just fear. Fear of rejection, fear of it not going over well. And then I had to say, okay, what if it doesn't go over well? What's the worst that can happen? I don't get sales. I look silly. Just another idea that's out there. What's the worst that can happen? Let's say I don't get any sales in the beginning. And then later on, it picks up. Like everything else in my life picks up. Or I start talking about it and people start asking about it. And then it starts selling. And like there's always something that could happen. There's always something that can work in a project. Or maybe I didn't launch the project well. Or maybe I needed to take it to this facility or that facility so I can go out. My point is, when you allow fear to narrate and dictate your life, there's a lot of things that you should have and that should be in your life that will not be there. And it's not because it's not God's timing. It's because you are sabotaging yourself. So once you acknowledge that that's what you do, then you pay attention to what's going on. What are you feeling? What are you trying to avoid? What pain are you trying to avoid? Right? The next thing to do is to start acting the opposite of what it is that you're trying to avoid. My thing was I wouldn't finish stuff. And once I realized that I wasn't a finisher, guess what? I started finding people who could finish it for me. Come on, y'all. Doesn't that makes so much sense, right? Like if I have so much writer's block, if I used all this effort and energy to start it, to see it through, and then all of a sudden I can't finish it, let me hire somebody. I can hire somebody on Fiverr.com. I can hire somebody on I think this the website is Upwork.com, who can finish the work for me. I don't even have to finish it. I could hire somebody. And then when I hire it, I have a finished project. What am I going to do with the finished project? If I keep telling myself it's not going to work, then guess what? I'm going to tell myself the opposite. It's going to work. It has to work. If it's a God idea, God, you gave me this idea. You're the reason why I even did this. You're the reason why I started this. Therefore, you got to make sure it works. So here we go. Let's do it. With my heart beating fast, butterflies in my stomach, a lump in my throat, I'm going to do the opposite of what I recognize that I do the most. Your habits are creating your life. The reason why your life is what it is because of your habits. If you don't realize what your habits are, you don't pay attention to what your habits are, you're not even cognizant of the things that you do habitually. That is a problem. You got to know yourself. You got to pay attention to you. Like, this is my habit. This is what I do. I could get better at this. I'm not that good at this. I'm not that disciplined. I could be more like, you have to know yourself and be honest with yourself. The people who are most successful in life are people who are self-aware. And when I say success, I'm talking about marital success. You have to be very self-aware so that you can know what obstacles your spouse may encounter with you. Okay? You gotta know, like, yeah, I do that. I'm sorry, babe. I do that. I know. Let me make it up to you. Or let me, just give me some grace. Let it slide, whatever. You have to be self-aware to get through any kind of marriage. You have to be self-aware to have a good relationship with other people, whether it's romantically or platonic. You have to have a good relationship with yourself in order to lead yourself when you're doing business. Business is hard, and most of the times the reason why business is hard is not necessarily because the business is hard. It's because you have to manage yourself. You don't have a manager managing you or telling you do this, do that. You have to manage yourself, right? Then you have to, there's self-awareness fits into so many facets. Even your relationship with God, you have to know that you get bored quickly, and that will send you over to this, to that. Oh, you study this, you worship this, and very impulsive, going to one thing to the next thing, and you just fall out of love with God all the time. Not necessarily because God is not good to you, but because you just get bored. Why are you bored all the time? You have to be aware. You have to be cognizant of yourself. When you are more aware of yourself, you're able to do more in life. You're able to be successful. Even studies show that people who have a high EQ, which is emotional intelligence, there's intellectual intelligence, which is IQ, and then there's emotional intelligence, which is EQ. And people who have a higher EQ are the people who are most successful. It's not even about being just so smart. It's those habits. It's your behaviors. What do you do? When you realize what you do, then you can say, okay, I'm going to do the opposite of that so I can get an opposite result of what I've currently been getting. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to tell somebody, hey, this is the journey I'm on. This is the project I'm embarking on. Do me a favor and just check on me. Just text me, call me, see if I'm still on it, if I'm staying focused, because you need that accountability, right? You can put alarms in your phone so that you just have reminders every week. My husband can't stand my phone because my phone is always going off. And it's not even people calling me or texting or social media. My alarms annoy the mess out of him. He's like, your phone is always an alarm. It's always an alarm. Sound the alarm. Yes, my phone gonna have alarms, honey, okay? Because it helps me to stay focused. It helps me to stay on track. It helps me to remember, this is what I'm doing. This is my goal for quarter one. This is what we're working on. This is my focus. And as long as I remind myself what my focus is, I'm going to stay on task. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to smash it. That's on period. But I have to have those reminders. Like, I literally have a alarm at 7 p.m. every single day to eat dinner. Because sometimes I'll just get to work and, what are you doing? Okay, I'm almost done. Don't worry. Okay. 7 p.m. every single day, because I can get to working and I will not feel the hunger pains. I will not hear my stomach. I will forget I have a whole family waiting on me to give them dinner. Okay? I will forget. And then here comes 7 o'clock. Mom, are we hungry? Where's dinner? What are we eating? Oh, daggone. Right? Y'all not gonna catch me slipping. No, I have an alarm. I set my alarm. So then by 7:30, everybody's eating. And I'm not just typing away or making a call or doing this or doing that. I set alarms. I also set alarms for when I'm going to do video recordings. So then, I got to get my wig, get my beat down, do my face, have my clothes ready, this, that, and the other. I set those alarms because I know how I am, but I'm self-aware enough now and not in denial as to how I'm wired and how I am. I'm not in denial. I just own it. This is what it is. And I'm going to work with what I got. I'm going to play the hand that I'm dealt, honey. Okay. I'm going to tell you that right now. Somebody was like, oh, we may not even be here in 2053. What does it matter? No, sweetie. Let me tell you something. First of all, y'all not finna catch me slipping. I'm going to work my hand that the Father gave me. So when he come back, he going to see me working. You understand? Y'all not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's 2053, or oh, it's almost here, or Jesus coming back. We might as well sit down. No, I'm gonna be working. My hands is gonna be on the plow. I'm gonna be working. All right? There's nobody in the scripture that I seen. And if you know scripture better than me, please let me know. Or if you know and found it in scripture, let me know. Ain't nobody I've seen that has been called by God that was sitting on their hands doing nothing. I ain't seen it. I have not seen it. If you've seen it, let me know. I'm not going to be found slipping. Okay? Let's be crystal clear. He's going to see me and he's going to say, well done, good and faithful servant. Okay, let it alone. Let it alone, daughter. Let's go. It's time to go. Bet, let's go. And I ain't gonna have no problem letting it go. But you're not just gonna catch me digging in my nails and not doing anything and sitting around twiddly dum, twiddly dee waiting. No, not I. I'm gonna be studying. I'm gonna be building. I'm going to be working with my coach. I'm going to be working with my kids. I'm going to be striving in my marriage. I'm going to be striving myself as an individual. I'm going to learn myself so that I can be a better version of myself every single day. And then when he gives me insight, epiphanies, wisdom, revelation, I'm going to apply it too. I'm going to apply it because I refuse to make, and if I'm not alive when he come back, I done passed or whatever, I'm not going to make the grave rich because I didn't empty myself out on the earth like I was supposed to. And now I'm making the soil rich. Some of y'all will catch that later. Some of y'all catch it later. But I'm just saying. So how, as we wrap up, has it been 15 minutes? Okay. It's been longer than 15 minutes. It's okay. How to overcome self-sabotage. First of all, own it. Just own that that's what you do. Just own it. It's okay. It's a lot of us out here. Self-sabotagers unite. Former self-sabotagers unite. Okay? Speaking into existence. Right? Acknowledge it. You can't change what you won't confront. So acknowledge it. Number 2, identify what it is that you do. What is your habit? What do you, or excuse me, that's number 3. Number 2 is find the root. Okay? Find the root and figure out what it is that you're avoiding. The brain loves efficiency, so it's going to keep you doing habits, even if those habits don't get you the result that you actually want. So you have to find the root. What are you avoiding? What are you trying to run away from? What's really going on? Once you get to the root, number 3 is do the opposite. Identify what you do and then do the opposite and do the opposite and do the opposite and do the opposite. It's going to take a little bit of time because you already have a habit formed up here to do the self-sabotaging behavior. So in order for you to do the behavior that's not self-sabotaging and that's actually going to get you the results you want, you're going to have to do it a few times for it to build. And then your brain is going to be like, okay, we don't listen to fear. Okay. Fear comes up. Okay, it's fear. Hey, fear is here. Oh, we don't succumb to fear anymore. We do the opposite of fear. Oh, okay. Yes. Got it. We do the opposite of fear. That's literally how the brain works. Okay. So you do the opposite of that. Then number 5 is you just watch your life change. You just see things blossom and become totally different. There's going to be many opportunities for you to slide back into that, and that's okay. It's just the testing. If you're never tested, then you don't know if you know what you know. Ask Abraham. But even if you're tested, it's okay. Just keep doing it, and you are going to see the results. Give yourself grace, give yourself time, but that is how you overcome self-sabotage. It takes putting in the work, but the results are magnifique. With that, I love you guys. Thanks for joining me on this daily dose of faith every Monday. Like I said, I think I'm not going to use this event thing on Facebook because it doesn't allow me to share, and I don't like that. But I will post a flyer or whatever on Sunday or Monday morning as a reminder so that you can join me and we can go up and up and up, go up and up and up, go up and up and up. Love you. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Take care.